We'll be going into great detail in this video about what I really think is a sign that hedge funds have been afraid of for years about AMC Entertainment. The long-term list of movies. A post made by Golby says that the lineup for 2027, 2028, and 2029 is very strong. Big companies and a lot of intellectual property. The kinds of movies that don't just fill seats. They fill the whole theater. This is important because AMC isn't just planning for the next 3 months. It's getting ready for years of steady demand. The game will last a long time. Shareholders who know about the schedule know that this isn't about getting something right away. The theater business isn't going away. It's just getting stronger. We've already seen the box office slowly get better over the last few years. But what's more important is that we saw how AMC has planned to gain from the recovery. But let's not forget about the pressure effort either. Some hedge funds and market players have been trying for years to force AMC to go bankrupt. But here we are. The business is still going strong. It has changed and reformed. And there are currently no clear signs that it will go bankrupt. That's important because we've always said that short sellers have only 2 real ways out of the situation. First, small buyers, or apes, would have to sell all their stocks at once. 95 to 99% of buyers are selling, which means that almost all the stock in AMC is owned by institutions. That's one possible way out. Second, the business would have to shut down and be taken off the stock market. Now, ask yourself, does it seem likely that almost all retail buyers would suddenly stop investing for no reason after 5 years of price swings, volatility, and news stories? It doesn't make sense to me. The conviction has been put to the test many times. That situation doesn't seem likely at all. That leaves bankruptcy as the second choice. It is true that bankruptcy would seem more likely if 99% of owners sold, but even that chance has been going down. Why? Because AMC has been working hard to improve its situation. There have been efforts to stop it from raising money, cycles of bad press, and constant doubt. Still, the business keeps running, improving, and changing. Clears? Throat. Now, let's talk about another point of view that Stefan Wickstrom brought up. The number of movies expected to open in 2026 is expected to grow very quickly. Netflix, the biggest streaming service, has started to focus more on movies that come out in theaters. Take a look at that. The company that was once seen as a threat to theaters is now looking for ways to work with theaters and has even teamed up with AMC to get more people to see some movies. That alone calls the idea that theaters are old-fashioned into question. If streaming really did take the place of theaters, then Netflix wouldn't be investing in movie distribution. On top of that, CEO Adam Aron has said something very important in public. For AMC to make money, box office numbers don't have to fully return to what they were before the pandemic in 2019. Cost structures have been optimized, operational efficiencies have grown, and premium formats are bringing in more money per person. That means AMC might be able to make the same amount of money, or even more, even if the number of movie theaters it runs is smaller than it used to be. The key is here. The number of tickets sold is already going up. If profits can be kept up without a full rebound, and recovery is still happening, that's a strong combination. Another prediction says that North American movie theater sales could rise by $500 million to more than $1 billion in 2026 compared to 2025. A better selection of movies and better operations means stronger fundamentals. That's why AMC is focused on expensive screens, better experiences, and closing theaters that aren't doing well. It's not just about making more money. It's about making better money. Allow us to now move on to the community side. Investors have said in public that they are still buying shares at lower prices. Some people have tens of thousands of shares, while others have more than 100,000. When you think about all the millions of buyers who have taken part, even small average ownership could make up a big part of the float. This adds to the long-running argument about whether the float has been sold more than once. On top of that, the cost basis of many holders is now a lot cheaper. Anyone who has opened short positions around $2 or $3 knows that even small price increases can put pressure on those positions. This is a reason why even small moves upward can face strong opposition. We also can't ignore the attention from the media all the time. AMC doesn't have a very big market cap compared to mega cap companies right now, but it still gets a lot of attention. For some, that makes them wonder why there is so much attention, especially from people who say the story is over. We've also seen regular increases in the amount of trade that happens outside of exchanges at important times. Sometimes, numbers have gone up a lot just minutes after the market opened. This kind of activity usually leads to a conversation about how liquidity works and where to place yourself. In terms of liquidity, there have been rumors that some big market makers have had to deal with tighter conditions or changes in their banking relationships. For instance, JP Morgan Chase has been brought up in conversations about bigger financial relationships in the market. When there is less money in the market, margin needs may go up, which affects people who are leveraged the most. In terms of the bigger picture, worries about oil supply are causing margin needs to rise in commodities. Gold and silver, which are very valuable, have also been going up. These changes often show that markets are under stress or that people are hedging their bets. Now let's bring in GameStop. Some reports, including ones about eBay, have said that companies might be buying other companies. To be clear, these are still just reports. But the fact that talk of acquisitions keeps going shows that strategy changes may be happening. The markets are paying close attention to everything, whether it's one big deal or several smaller ones. The XRT Retail ETF, which has both AMC and GameStop in it, is another important factor. It has been claimed that short interest in XRT has reached very high levels, putting it back on the NYSE threshold list. People naturally look twice when an ETF with a lot of talked about stocks has a lot of short interest. There have even been strange reporting errors, like when firms like Barclays temporarily had data problems that led to incorrect market cap numbers for GameStop. Even though these are clearly mistakes, they spark internet debates about open data and the way markets are set up. It's time to talk about Hycroft mining too. As the price of silver goes up and concerns about a lack of supply around the world grow, mine companies are getting more attention. A lot of Hycroft silver comes from imports, which is a big problem for the U.S. right now. Some investors, like Eric Sprott, are very optimistic about silver's long-term prospects and have even predicted prices that are much higher than they are now. That naturally makes people more interested in miners who are set to gain. At the same time, recent problems in some parts of the UK financial system and other global financial stress events have made people even more worried about debt liquidity and the overall stability of the system. And short bets can be more at risk when leverage is unwound. In the big picture, all of these things, better box office trends, operating efficiency, strong retail ownership, high short interest, ETF pressure, tightening liquidity, macro volatility, and rising commodities fit together to make a picture. Because of this, a lot of people think that the signal that hedge funds are afraid of is strong foundations and unwavering conviction. No one can tell you the exact time. The markets move in complicated ways, but what we're seeing is not a company going out of business. The company is adapting to a changing business environment with the help of a group that has been involved for years. And if the only real ways out for shorts are for large retailers to give up or for the company to go bankrupt, which doesn't look like it will happen soon, then you can see why the situation continues to spark so much argument. That's all we have for you today. Guys, what do you think about AMC stock? Join in and let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching it.